Welcome to this video session on Bama's Karukku, the explanation of the chapter 2. This is part of the discussion of novel Karukku written by Bama, which is prescribed in the paper Compulsory Foundation course in English for the 4th semester English language paper at Mangalore University for the stream BCA and BSc. So this is the continuation of my discussion already made on the chapter 2 and earlier chapters. Welcome to this video. In the last 3 videos on the chapter 2, we see different layers of experience where Bama and her community people and Dalits in India are ill-treated in society because they are born in the caste which they all consider as low caste, and there are irrational rules and illogical things where the practice of untouchability or even discrimination are meted out to Dalits in India. And Bama questions, taking all the instances of her life to support and presents them as a kind of finding a place for or giving a voice to all those sufferers in India. So then in this part of the video, we can see the end of the chapter 2 where her disturbed thoughts gets a kind of crystallized shape. But that shape is not something which is peacefully settled, but still it is something which is questioning or protesting with rationality the existing practices. She says Bama here feels that a low caste lives a life of humiliation and degradation till death and even after. Taking all the examples or taking all those as the support or background to this statement, she says how a low caste has to, one who born in the low caste, has to lead a life of humiliation and degradation till his last breath. And the presence of rampant caste discrimination, how it drives them into a frenzy, which in fact hinders their study and progress like everyone. See the way she finds a reason why they cannot make progress, why they cannot excel in studies. The reason itself, the ill treatment. She points at that and says that ill treatment of them makes or hinders their progress. And that's why she concludes, and this is why wretched lifestyle is all that is left to us, because the progress is not possible, study is not possible, then how can they improve themselves, right? The treatment that the system which itself doesn't permit them to grow, that is the complaint from Bama. A low caste man struggles every moment as people screw up their faces and look at them with disgust. That's the attitude again, right? How they are ill-treated or how they are looked at in society. That's what Bama is trying to expose. Causes anguish and anger. She fails. And these are the words from her heart because she herself experienced these things, right? She says it causes anguish and anger. So on the one hand it has anguish, right? At the same time it is anger. Kopa kuda ide. But they have to swallow it and just carry on with the troubled life. So there are different reasons why they can't fight. Once again, organizing itself is a difficult thing. There are so many obstacles to organize, right? They cannot organize and lead a protest. That is on the one hand. On the other hand, there are other powers, other things in the system which prohibit, which silence their voice. That is what Bama is trying to say. And she therefore contrasts the plight of the low caste people with the living conditions of the upper caste. She says the upper caste people possess money and we don't. We can be as good as them, but we do suffer pain and humiliation, right? So if they had money, they can also be as good as them, but we suffer pain and humiliation because of all these things. That's what she concludes here, right? They don't even possess money. If they possessed money, even Dalits in India or the low caste people possessed money, they can also lead a life free from suffering, right? We don't have to suffer. Because they don't have that, they suffer every day and humiliation is faced with, right? Then she questions that upper caste attitude of untouchability and recalling the instance of traveling. See, the traveling instance where she was traveling with a Naikar lady who questioned to which place she belongs or from which street she comes from. There, the practice of untouchability was disclosed in the last, in the beginning of this chapter 2. She questions that the treatment of the low caste is similar to that of one suffering from a repulsive disease, isn't it? They treat the low caste people like someone who is suffering from the treatment, treating someone who is suffering from repulsive disease. See, there are diseases where people do not go near to those people also. Such kind of treatment is there, right? For example, people suffering from tuberculosis, for example, right? Such a kind of inhuman treatment towards them is practiced, and she questions that very sick attitude. Therefore, she concludes, wherever we go, we suffer blows and pains. Is there never be a relief? The question that she puts forward, is there never be a relief? Don't we have relief ever? That's the question. She wonders that whether educated or not, the upper caste people are filled with caste hatred. She questions that whether educated or not, they're filled with it, generalized, because it is a suffered, wounded mind that concludes that how upper class people are generally, she makes a generalization that they are filled with caste hatred. Even the nuns and priests who claim their service of God certainly discriminate based on the caste. See, that she had witnessed already in the convent. Because they claim that they are in the service of God and they treat and support the poor, but they don't do that. That's what she's questioning again. I have been grieved over the fact that I was born as I am, right? I have even grieved over the fact that I was born as I am, right? You can see that I am has a lot of significance here, that it is the birth of a woman, birth of a Dalit woman, birth of a Tamil woman, birth of a Christian woman, Dalit Christian woman. So all these examples where, and all those roles that she exposed to, she gets exposure to ill treatment. That's what she questions ultimately. And she therefore decides to make an attempt to explore Dalit identity. That's why she raises the first question: are Dalits not human beings? Don't they have, all the riches that you associated with human beings? Are Dalits not human beings? That's the question she puts forward. Don't they have common sense, a sense of honor, self-respect, wisdom, beauty, dignity? What do we lack? Why do you ill-treat us? This is a question that she puts forward. Very, harsh and direct question, straightforward question to people who make that kind of ill-treatment of the people belong to Dalit community. And she questions that the treatment of them as slaves without human dignity and their intolerance of the progress of a Dalit into a life of some honor and self-respect. Yeah, she questions that very attitude of the upper caste or the people who show that. She reveals an apparent conspiracy to keep them in the same place, to make them live and die walking like beasts, never go forward. This is what her identification, that there is some apparent conspiracy here, right? A secret plan to keep them in the same position forever. The generations of enslavement, repeated degradation, made them feel themselves degraded, lacking honor and self-worth. We have so many instances where even in the novel, just like the example of the elderly man bringing Odai to that Naikar, holding a stick and keeping the wrapped pocket at the end of the stick, So there, a kind of acceptance of that, practice is there from that person's side, isn't it? He considers himself that he doesn't have that honor, or he lacks that eligibility to touch that. Why this happen? Because it is because a centuries enslavement, centuries or generations of enslavement, and a repeated degradation, repeated reinforcement of that social condition on them made them to be conditioned to that and accept it. That's the situation. The worst injustice blocked their way to freedom and redemption. That's what she concluded. This worst injustice they faced for years, for centuries, ultimately caused them, it blocked their way to liberation, freedom, redemption, an escape from this plight. Finally, she says, Bama urges Dalits to wake up. Just like Swami Vivekananda gave a call to all the youth of the country, arise and awake. We see it was a call to the to the community, that is the youth who were sleeping. In the sense, what kind of sleep? That is a metaphorical sleep at that hour of the country. He gave a call for all them to arise and awake, and he was trying to encourage that spirit in them to work for the country. Bama, in the same kind of tone, I think it's a context are different. Bama urges Dalits to wake up, must open their eyes and look about them. Right? They should open their eyes, look at this problem, and then they should work upon finding some sunshine in their life. They must not accept the injustice as it is their fate. No, it's not right to accept that and be silent that it is their fate, as if they have not they have no true feelings. They must dare to stand up for the change. That is what her urge, and must crush all the institutions that use caste to bully them into submission, isn't it? They must crush all the institutions that leads them to that reiterate, or that imprints or presses that caste system. And also it shows no one is high or low among the humans, and they have to show that no one is high or low among the humans. That is what the call that she gives for the Dalit, a necessity of building their identity, right? Constructing their identity is spoken here. And finally, the last words are very important. You can see, those who have found their happiness by exploiting us are not going to let us go easily. A caution is given to all the Dalits here. They don't let us easily. It is we who have to place them where they belong and bring about a changed and just society where all are equal. That means whatever are the obstacles, we should be determined to find that solution and find that equality needed for all, the justice needed for all. Thus Bama concludes the chapter like this. Here, with the ending words, Bama throws light on the Dalits' plight, the plight of the low caste people for no reason, and how they are faced to lead such a social situation. And she contrasts that condition of them with that of the privileged upper class or upper caste people, and by providing the contrast, she demands that social justice or equality. Also, Bama makes a rational attempts to explore Dalit identity and give a kind of call for them to start working towards living independently. I mean, finding their identity in society and to begin or to act upon the issue that they are the burning issues of the day, right? That's why she, in a way, through her writing, she tries or makes an attempt to bring some kind of solution and give some courage to her community men, particularly Dalits, to find some solution to the plight of them. Anyhow, so that's we have made an attempt to discuss the chapter 2, and the discussion of the chapter 3 follows this video, and I see you in that video. Thank you for watching. See you.